Thomas, Edward and Gordon. Thomas is a tank engine who lives at the big station on Sir Topham Hatt's railway. He has 6 small wheels, a short stumpy funnel, a short stumpy boiler, and a short stumpy dome. He's a fussy little engine, always pulling coaches about. He pulled them to the station, so they were ready for the big engines to take out on long journeys. Thomas usually pushes behind the big trains to help them start, and when they are running nicely, he stops and goes back. Because when trains come in and the people have gotten out, Thomas pulls the empty coaches away so that the big engines can go and rest. He's a cheeky little engine too, always playing tricks on the other engines. He liked to come quietly beside them and... Thomas thought he worked harder than all the engines he played tricks on, including Gordon, the biggest and proudest engine of all. Gordon was resting on a siding. The big express had been late, so Gordon had tired himself out making up for lost time. He was just going to sleep when Thomas came up in his cheeky way. Wake up, lazy bones. Do some hard work for a change. You can't catch me.
Catch you? I'll shunt you through the buffers when I get you. What cheek!
Instead of going to sleep again, Gordon thought how he could pay Thomas out. One morning, Thomas wouldn't wake up. His fire went out, and there was not enough steam.
Wake up, Thomas. It's nearly time for the express. 5 more minutes. No, now. The coaches aren't ready.
Oh, there's still time.
Barely enough of it to shut the coaches.
Is that Vincent? Well, if no one else can be patient, let him fetch the coaches.
Don't get me involved. Thomas, the people are waiting.
Oh.
Come on.
At last, Thomas started.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh. Come on, hurry up. We'll be late. We'll be late. Oh.
Come on, stop dawdling, stop dawdling.
Where have you been? Where have you been?
Oh, where is that tank
Thomas
engine?
fussed into the station where Gordon was waiting.
Hurry up, you.
Hurry up yourself.
Don't worry, I will.
And almost before the coaches had stopped moving, Gordon came out of his siding and was coupled to the train.
Get in quickly, please.
So the people got in quickly. The signal went down, the clock struck the hour, the guard waved his green flag, and Gordon was ready to start.
Come on, come on, come on, come on.
The heavy train slowly began to move out of the station. When Thomas pushes behind the big trains, he is always uncoupled first. This time, he was late. Gordon started so quickly that they forgot to uncouple Thomas. Thomas realized only too late.
Oh no. Stop the train. Stop the train!
The train went faster and faster. Too fast for Thomas. He wanted to stop, but he couldn't.
Stop! Stop!
Hurry, hurry, hurry.
You can't get away. You can't get away.
What do you think of that for a view?
Oh, David, it looks so magical.
I'm surprised you can find the words for it. Though I must admit, if any word was suitable, magical would be just that.
I must acquire a camera. Sights like this should last forever.
Quite so. There is something very important I must ask you. Something so very important. Brittany Heaver, will you...
Look, David. Look at the back of the Express.
Why, what's at the... Goodness gracious. I didn't realize the locomotives took the train to work.
Trickety-trock, trickety-trock, trickety-trock. Poor Thomas was going faster than he had ever gone before. He was out of breath and his wheels hurt him, but he had to go on.
Oh, I shall never be the same again. Oh, my wheels will be quite worn out. Oh, it's just dark.
At last, they stopped at a station.
Stopped.
They uncoupled Thomas, then he ran onto a siding out of the way. Gordon chuckled at him.
Oh, well, little Thomas, now you know what hard work means, don't you?
Poor Thomas couldn't answer. He had no breath. He just puffed slowly away to rest and had a long drink. He went home very slowly and was careful afterwards never to be cheeky to Gordon again.
Never again. Never again.
There was one engine who Thomas was never cheeky to. His friend, who was called Edward, lived in the shed with Thomas and 5 other engines. The other engines were all bigger than Edward. They boasted constantly about it.
It's a nice day today. Driver should be here by now. A big engine like me deserves to be seen.
You keep telling yourself that, Tara. You look unfinished.
Like your smokebox, Vincent.
That was awfully rude of you, Vincent. Every engine
Bigger
is...
and stronger than you are, so your word is insignificant.
Hey!
Now, quiet, Thomas. You're so small and annoying you don't even count.
Small, teeny, weeny. Shouldn't you be fetching our coaches? You can fetch them.
Now, Thomas, remember, it's important that passenger trains are ready on time. It would be very big of you to put the passengers first.
Oh, all right, I'll go. All right, I'll go.
That's a good engine.
Yes, listen to little Edward.
Now you engines, be kinder to Thomas. He works very hard with little recognition.
I feel sick. You're not even in steam yet. How can you be ill already? We need our crews. Where are they?
They do seem to be running late today.
Not that it's of your concern, little Edward. The drivers won't choose you again. They want big, strong engines, like us.
It was true that Edward hadn't been out for a long time. He began to feel sad. He was still sad when the driver and fireman came along to start work.
Ah, at last.
Come along, let's make some steam.
What's the matter? Why are you so sad? Would you like to come out today?
What?
Oh, yes, please. Wonderful, let's get you in steam.
So the fireman lit the fire and made a nice lot of steam. The driver pulled the lever and Edward puffed away.
Look at me now. Look at me now.
The other engines were very cross at being left behind. Thomas was surprised to see Edward coming into the yard.
No way! Hello, Edward. Hello, Thomas. Good to see you out and about again. Peep, peep. Thank you.
As Edward backed down to collect his coaches, they began to worry.
Oh, please be careful, Edward. Don't bump and bang us like the other engines do.
Especially Thomas.
Don't be silly, don't be silly. I only bumped you once this week. If we had fingers, we still couldn't count how many times you've bumped us this week. Now, it's all right. You won't be bumped or banged today.
Edward was as good as his word. He came up to the coaches very, very gently, and the shunter fastened the coupling. The coaches were very pleased.
Oh, thank you, Edward. That was kind. We are glad you're taking us today. My pleasure. Now let's get to the station. We mustn't keep the passengers waiting. No, indeed, it's time to go. No, indeed, it's time to go.
Edward did have a happy day. All the children waved as Edward went past.
Ooh, look at that! Hello! He's so old. I think he looks very smart. A bit dirty though.
And he met old friends at all of the stations.
Hello, Edward. Long time no see.
It's good to be out and about again. How's Renius?
Edward worked so hard that the driver was very pleased. He told the other engines in the shed all about it that night.
Well. Look who's decided to come back. Good evening, everyone. I trust we all did a hard day's work. Indeed we did. The express was minutes early at the big station.
Oh, it's no thanks to Thomas, eh?
It's not my fault that the coupling needed maintenance. Anyway, that's Rich coming from the engine who broke the buffers near the coal chute. I did not break them. They were just rotting.
Rotting in time with the collision of those trucks.
Whose side are you on?
I'm feeling a little better.
Oh, really, Henry? Oh, that's nice. When was this optimism when I was having my rest? I've done twice the work everyone else has, thanks to...
So I've missed quite the busy day in the yard, it seems.
I'm sure you won't miss anything tomorrow, little Edward. Today was a rare opportunity for an engine of your age and size.
Really? Well, then, I must be a very, very lucky engine. Oh, excuse me.
Why's that, Edward?
Oh, well, a driver told me I'm going out again tomorrow. What do you think of that?
Oh, that's great news.
Pah! Now he's telling you truckloads of nonsense.
I wouldn't get worked up over it, you big sausage.
Big what?
It won't last. It's only a matter of time before things go back to normal for that old-timer.
Hey, be quiet.
Shh. The other engines were surprised that Edward would be back to work the next day. But he didn't hear what they thought, for he was so tired and happy that he fell asleep at once. The next morning, nothing had changed. But Edward didn't mind. As his driver and fireman got him ready, Gordon carried on boasting.
You watch me, little Edward, as I rush through with the express. I would appreciate it if the rest of you conducted yourselves more appropriately when the big engine is talking. Henry!
Sorry.
Carry on, Gordon. You were saying?
Yes, watch me this afternoon, little Edward. I'll be rushing through with the express. That will be a splendid sight for you. In fact, for all of you.
I'm sure it will, Gordon.
Goodbye, little Edward. Look out for me this afternoon.
Goodbye. My goodness, you all seem to be in a fit of giggles today.
Well, I don't know why you're being so high-spirited. You better enjoy your last day out, little Edward.
We'll see about that. Edward went off to do some shunting. At the bottom of the steepest incline on the railway, there is a station with a small yard. Some trucks needed shunting here. Edward liked shunting. It was fun playing with trucks. He would come up quietly and give them a quick pull.
Whatever is happening?
Then Edward would stop quickly and the silly trucks would go bump into each other. Edward pushed them until they were running nicely, and when they weren't expecting it, he would stop. One of them would be sure to run onto the other line.
Help! I'm coming off the rails! Oh, I'm not.
Edward played till there were no more trucks. Then he stopped to rest. Presently, he heard a whistle, and Gordon came puffing along very slowly and very crossly. Instead of nice shining coaches, he was pulling a lot of very dirty coal trucks.
A goods train, a goods train. The shame of it, the shame of it.
An express freight train. Oh, it suits you, Gordon.
Oh, the shame of it.
He went slowly through, with the trucks clattering and laughing behind him. Then Edward went to find some more trucks. Soon afterwards, a porter came and spoke to Edward's driver.
What's the matter, Stephen? Gordon can't get up the hill. Will you take Edward and push him, please?
Right away. Come on, Edward. We'll leave these trucks for later.
Of course. We mustn't leave the main line blocked.
They found Gordon halfway up the hill and very cross. His driver and fireman were talking to him severely.
You're not trying. I can't do it. The noisy trucks hold an engine back so. If they were coaches now, clean, sensible things that come quietly, that would be different.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, Edward's driver came up.
Ah, hello, Charlie. We've come to push.
Oh, no use at all.
Gordon! It's all right. You wait and see.
Right, well, whistle to us when you're back with your engine, and we'll get ready. They brought the train back to the bottom of the hill, and Edward came up behind the brake van.
I'm ready.
No good.
The guard blew his whistle, then the engines pushed and pulled as hard as they could.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
I will do it. I will do it.
Edward pushed and puffed and puffed and pushed as hard as ever he could.
I will do it.
Almost before he realized it, Gordon found himself at the top of the hill.
I've done it. I've done it.
He forgot all about Edward pushing behind. He didn't wait to say thank you, but ran on so fast that he left Edward behind. Poor Edward had pushed so hard that he was out of breath by the time he reached the top of the hill. He didn't have enough breath to acknowledge the waving guard on Gordon's train as it ran into the distance. Edward ran to the next station, and there the fireman gave him a nice long drink.
Thank you. That's much better.
You did very well back there. I'm proud of you, Edward. Tell you what, I'll get out my paint tomorrow and give you a beautiful new coat of blue with red stripes. Then you'll be the smartest engine in the shed.
Would you like to know something? He was.